Hello, hi. We're going to work with adding three numbers that have two digits. It's actually four numbers with three digits. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this is an algorithm. And an algorithm is where you have numbers that are being put one underneath the other. It also means that you're working a problem step by step and doing it correctly. We're also going to talk about the associative property in addition, meaning that I could add these two numbers, or I could add these two numbers and then these two numbers, and adding them all together is still going to give me the same number. So we're going to use that property to make a decision if I can make a 10. So I'm going to put here, can I make a 10? That's my question always when I'm doing problems like this, when I'm adding, can I make a 10? So if you look at this, I'm looking at the numbers here on the ones place, and that's also knowing your place value. 3, 7, 9, and 2 are on the ones place, and 4, 2, and 1, and 3 are on the tens place, and each one has a different value. So here I'm going to add the ones place, and I'm going to see that these two make a 10. And then if I separate this 2 into 1 plus 1, I'm going to be able to join this 9 plus this 1 to make another 10. And now I can use my mental strategies and do it in my mind. 10 plus 10 plus 1, that'll give me 21. Or if you still need to, go ahead and add 10 from here and 10 from there, and then this one here is going to give you 21. Whichever one is easier for you, go ahead and do it. Just make sure that you get it right. Now this 2, I know that the place value of this 2 is not just 2 ones, it's going to be 20. So I have to add it to my tens place. And I can't put it over here because then it's going to give me a huge number. So, and it's going to give me the incorrect. So again, can I make a 10? So I have here, I'm looking at my numbers, and you can look at with me and see if you can make a 10. I can make 5s. So here this 4 and 1 make a 5, and this 2 and 3 make a 5. And I know that 5 plus 5 make what? 10, right? So then 10 plus 2, that equals 20. That equals 12, which is 121. So this is one way for me to add these four numbers. And as I talked to you earlier, and if you have viewed the video about the associative property, it doesn't matter which numbers you're going to group together, they're still supposed to give you the correct number. One of the advice that I give my students is that whenever you make a problem, you should do it a different way. At least 2 ways, because maybe the first time you got it wrong. And you don't know that. But if you do it once, you will never know. But if you do it twice, then the second one will probably come out the same answer or the same sum. Or if it comes out different, then you know that you got it wrong. So let's try it again, but this time using a pictorial representation. So I have 43. And so I'm going to use my tens and my ones, and I'm following the numbers here. So I'm going to do my first number, which is 43, and which is 4 tens and 3 ones. My next number is 27. And so when I make my numbers, and I suggest that you do it also, please try to be as organized on your numbers as possible, because that makes it much easier for you to be able to add. So if you put them all over the place, then it's going to be hard for you to follow. So I'm doing 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 19. My last one is 32. So I'm going to draw 2 more, and the 3 and the 2. Okay, so I'm ready to add. I'm gonna switch a marker so that you can see how this is gonna go. So I have 3 here and I need, so I have 7 here, 3 and 7. This makes one group of 10. If I cross this out and I add it over here, because then I have to carry it over because I can't have groups of 10s on my ones. And I have 9 here. And if I take this 1 and this 9, that makes another 10. So I can add it right there. So now I can ask myself, well, what do I have left? I only have left 1, but I still can ask myself here, do I have more than 10? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here I can make my 10. Well, that means that I'm going to have to add another, my hundreds, and my hundreds is going to be represented this way. So I have 10, and this 10 I put over here, so now I'm left with 2, and now I'm left with 1. So here is my number 1. So my number is 121, which is the same number that I got earlier. So that's one way of, actually that's 2 ways of checking your answer. This is just you watching me do it. Let's try one more. And the next one, we're going to see if we can do it together. Normally when we do things together, you could work it with me. If you haven't gotten a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, can you go get one, pause the video and go get a piece of a pencil or a pen so that you could write and work this problem with me. So when you're ready, please turn it back on. Turn back on the video. Thank you. So this one we're going to do together. I'm assuming that you're finished writing the problem. So again, I'm going to ask myself, can I make a 10? So I'm looking here. Remember, in the associative property, it really doesn't matter what you're grouping your numbers with. So if I group this 4 with this 6, it's going to give me a 10. And this 8 with this 2 is going to give me a 10. So I could use my mental strategies and say 10 plus 10 equals 20, or I can write it down if I need to. You just have to remember that the 1s goes as the answer, and the 10s, since we haven't added the 10s, you have to put your 10s up here. So then again, we continue to ask ourselves, can I make a 10? I'm looking at my numbers, and I want you to look at your numbers and see if you can figure out a way to do it. Okay, so think about it. Pause your video if you need to. Think about it a little bit more. So again, here I'm thinking about, okay, I can make a 5. I already have a 5 right here. Can I make a 5 elsewhere? Yeah, look. This 2 plus this 2 equals 4 plus this 1 equals 5. So here's my 5 right here, and I have my 5 right here, and I know that 5 plus 5 equals 10. Then I have 2. See how I'm working my mental strategies? So 10 plus 2, that equals 12. So I'm going to write my 12. So that's going to be my first answer. I'm going to write it right there. I'm going to see if I'm going to get it the next time. So this is the algorithm way. So we're going to work the same problem, however, this time with my pictorial representation, and I'm going to do my 1s and my 10s. And so I'm going to start with my 1s. My first number is 14. Do it carefully. And then you do 28. I have 28. Then 52. Then 26. All right, so now I have all my numbers, and here it is. Let's see if we can make 10. So I have 6 here and 4 here. No, it's 8. Let's see, but I have 4 and 6 over here, so these two can go together and this forms a 10. So I'm going to add this over here, and I have 8 here, and then 2 more. If I join these two, this makes a 10. So I'm going to add another 10 over here. So I'm left with nothing, so I'm going to write my 0 at the bottom. And now I'm going to count and see if I can make a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here's my 10 right here. And this can't be going over here. So now I have to go on the hundreds and make that 10 right there. I'm left with 2 and this 100. My answer is 120. Notice how they match my previous answer. So this is 2 ways that you can do your addition. Hope you enjoyed.